Okay, welcome to the Impact Podcast with Taiwo Balogun. Tonight, yes, is another night, and tonight we are looking at another very important topic or title that we tagged Artificial Intelligence, your new business partner. So, I want all the business owners, entrepreneurs, or aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs to sit back and stay tuned to the end of this episode because it's going to be very, very informative with my guest in the house. And with me, I have one of the leading AI founders out there. Yes, I have Mr. Akintunde Okpaleye, and he is ready, very ready to share his experience with us. So Mr. Akintunde Okpaleye is an AI founder and the lead product strategist at ThinkNote USA. So today we'll dive or delve into the real world applications of AI in business. How AI will help you as a secret weapon in the ever changing marketplace. So, join me in welcoming Mr. Akintunde Okpaleye. Welcome on board, Mr. Akin.
Thank
Mr.
you very much,
Mr.
Mr.
Okpaleye.
Taiwo. Really
How are
appreciate it.
you?
I'm
I,
doing amazing.
I've been waiting for this day because I used to follow your stuff on LinkedIn, and I can see how informative and educative they are. So tonight, the title before us is artificial intelligence, and it's I think is not a new thing again, but a lot of business owners needs to understand how to use this secret weapon or powerful tool to their advantage. So I think we need to start by you telling us what you would like us to know about you. You know,
About me, right? So
yes.
there's a lot of things to know about me, but I think the first thing anybody should know about me is like naturally, first a curious person,
Wow.
and that's what drives me into any industry that I get into. Any industry that I get into must give me the advantage to ask questions, to
Mm,
want to know more. So I think that is the first thing. And then so I have started tech since when I was very young. I have been inquisitive about tech and the advancements since when I was like 10 or then like at 12. And since then as well, I've kind of gotten into the business of tech in little ways, like helping people around to fix their phone, helping them to set up like maybe a software on their laptop at
wow.
that time. And also got into writing code a little bit at that time.
Mm,
So, and I've gone through like different phases where I had to focus on just business, and I went through a phase as well where I had to just focus on tech itself as a software engineer, as a cloud engineer,
wow.
before I was captivated by AI. And I'm like, okay, this gives me the exact feeling I felt
Mm,
when I got interest in tech at that time, the time when I was very young, because this gives me the ability to want to know more that, wow, this is like magic. This is awesome. And the possibilities is endless.
mm,
So that's a very brief.
wow.
Uh,
Wow. Thank you. I read your story. You wrote a story sometimes few weeks ago on LinkedIn about how you started at UI.
yes,
And
yes.
I was like, wow, you were on stage telling your story, the African story.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that's amazing. And
Yeah.
yes, the fact that you are curious shows that yes, you are visionary. And I like the fact that you are focused. You are a focused person, so I appreciate that. So let's dive into what intelligence is all about. And in like I said, I think it's a popular thing now, but a lot
Yes.
of business owners still see it as something that it is almighty. So, in your own view, what is artificial intelligence?
Okay, so you can derive the meaning right from the name itself, artificial intelligence. The species that is known to be that is known to be intelligence is us, right? Like we are known to be the one to think, to be the one to connect the patterns in order to execute. Now, think of that as that is natural.
Mm.
But in like maybe you can see it as the opposite sense when it becomes artificial. It's just like the replication of that type of intelligence into an inanimate object like machines.
Mm.
And it has different strands, right? In the sense of like maybe the intelligence to understand, maybe the intelligence to work, maybe the intelligence to calculate. So that is the meaning of artificial intelligence, just the possibility of replicating the human intelligence
Mm.
into machines.
So,
That's
so in other words, it is not here to eradicate what human being can do.
just to enhance.
Yes, because I see that has been a lot of misconception, where a lot of people are afraid of. Oh, I think AI is going to take over my job. It's going to render me jobless. It's going to do this. So, and that is why I decided to ask that simple question so that we can all understand what artificial intelligence is. And like he said, the intelligence part of AI is where we come in. Abi?
Yes, right.
Thank you, thank you. So now looking at that, how is AI currently being used by entrepreneurs like you? Because looking at your story and how you've been transitioning,
Sure.
I would like to know how AI has really helped you as an entrepreneur, or how it is being used presently in the marketplace.
So I think like the first thing is the first way that it has really helped me, and I think it can really help a lot of people out there, is access to the knowledge that you need, access to the specific knowledge that you need. So this can be your partner in the sense of it can consult for you.
Mm.
A very good example is if you are trying to maybe profile a solution to your clients, but you don't understand the field that your client is in.
Mm.
Instead of you to go probably hire a new consultant, or maybe you have to go study for months before you understand that field, you could just go into like the LLMs that exist now, like ChatGPT, and explain it in your natural way and try to explain like, okay, these are the factors that is involved, and the AI can distill it down and give you access to the information that you need. That is like this the specific one. Instead of you to go to Google, then type in, then you read some relative articles you don't even understand, and you are overwhelmed. So the first way that I started to use like the new type of AI, which is Gen AI, it is to help me this information and give me the exact access that I need. So that is like the easiest way that I've been using it, and it has really, really helped. Like really, really extremely.
I can see that there are some lingo that you are using, terms. And I think you need to break it down. For me, I understand some of those terms like LLM and Gen AI. That's generative AI.
Yes.
So I think you need to break it down for a layman out there who has just a small business and want to harness the power of AI.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So the very simple explanation of what I just said is, if you are trying to tackle a problem now that you don't understand in your business, instead of you to go on Google, type out like, okay, how to do SEO for my small business, and then you see links to different articles that will take you days to read and understand. You can go into platforms like ChatGPT, just type in like, oh, I run a business in cooking. I'm trying to get more visitors to my website. You don't even need to use terms like SEO. You just write it in like natural way, just like you are talking to a friend. just like the way I'm talking to Taiwo right now. You could just type it exactly like that. And the magic there is it gives you the exact information that you are looking for without overwhelming you with the information that you don't need to know. So that's like the first way to like use the power of the new AI that is available right now.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. So now I think you really simplified it in the sense that communicating with LM
LLMs like Chat
LMs.
GPT,
Yes.
just say Chat GPT is fine.
Now, good, good, good. ChatGPT, at the point, a lot of people came up with. There was a time the noise was out there about, um, oh, about prompt engineering. Yes, that's the word I want to remember. Prompt engineering. That before you can effectively use the likes of ChatGPT, Perplexity, and the likes, that you need to understand generative, prompt engineering. Now, as a business person, do I really need more to know more about prompt engineering before I can use ChatGPT and other AI?
I think, in my own opinion, I think prompt engineering is a buzzword for the users of the basic AI that maybe you just want to use it from the interface, meaning you just want to just go into the chat GPT and ask some questions that you need answers to. But prompt engineering is like the technicalities of that. Those who probably need to understand it, that maybe those who are using it to build applications in the back end. But I don't want to talk about that yet.
Good.
But for the users, like normal people that want to just get answers to what they are trying to understand, you don't need to understand prompt engineering. The only thing you need to understand is how to effectively ask questions. And the best way to ask questions, even when you are asking maybe me or you're asking a friend, is to give as much information as you can. In the sense of, instead of you to write, "Oh, I'm trying to get more traffic to my website," it's going to give you a general overview. But if you give it more context, in the sense of, "I'm trying to draw traffic to my website where I sell cooking wares, and it is located in blah blah blah," it understands the context, and then it can give you a streamlined answer that is going to be personalized to you. So that is like what you need to know. You don't need to understand all those ones is like these buzzwords. You don't need to understand prompt engineering.
It's like that is a bit advanced, because AI just came all of a sudden, bam. And the noise about prompt engineering, you have to do this. So I purposely ask that question so that we can soften the mind of those that are using or interacting with AI tools out there. So now let's go to how we can use AI as a strategic partner, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a founder yourself. How can AI be seen as a partner rather than just a tool?
A partner.
Yes.
So to be very honest with you, for the business that I run now, apart from like my staffs or like my contractors, one of the first person I first go to meet when I have a problem, because I have to go to someone that is not that biased, that doesn't have the emotions. It is AI. I just go there and I be like, "Okay, I'm having this issue with one of my clients. What do you think about it?" I know it sounds weird, but it actually works. It has given me the solutions to some problems in business that I face, that, assuming I'm to think of it alone, or if I'm to ask a friend, some emotions might be involved, which in business, you don't really need to bring emotions in, because business is business. So that's like one of the advantages there. So that is one way which I actually use AI. I just use it as my business partner, in the sense of, I ask it some questions about the problems that I am facing, and it gives me the answer that I need. And there are other ways too as well, but I don't know, maybe your audience run those type of business, in the sense of, assuming you have like an app, you
Okay.
could use AI to uh, increase the usability of your app, in the sense of, assuming you have a product that help people do their tax access. There is a very good way in which AI can come into that to increase the user's experience,
Okay.
in the sense of, okay, instead of people to go through maybe a 1 hour process before they get the process that they need to get done, they could just input like, okay, this is what I am trying to do. And then you could have the AI in the backend just process everything. I don't know, maybe I should go deep into that. I don't
Go
know.
deep, go deep.
Is
Just
your audience, are
go
they
deep.
technical
Yes.
people, or are they
Yes,
not
they are
technical
technical
people?
people. The challenge you have is that we don't have more female on this
Okay.
in this community. We have a lot of males, so they can relate, and most of them are business owners and entrepreneurs, and they are tech savvy too.
Okay, nice.
All right. So, like you said, that the place of emotions. Yes, I really value that, because, like you said, that business should be strictly business without involving emotions, so that we don't mess up the business. Now, let's look at when it comes to that. Let's look at how AI can help in decision making. Like you told us that at times you run into problem with clients, and you can easily ask AI, oh, what is it? How do you think AI can assist business owners, entrepreneurs, in making better business decisions?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier, it's just like you just going to the interface, giving it as much context as you can. I think that is the first thing. Like, you have to like, it's just like you are talking to a consultant. It's just like you are talking to a friend.
Good.
Give it as much information as you can.
Mm.
And this AI is programmed that it can relate to you in a natural way, in the sense of, you could just let it know that, okay, what is the wisest thing to do here? I actually say that, and it breaks it down step by a step, and it like lets me know, okay, if you go this route, this is like the likely end. This, if you go this other route. And maybe another line you can add to your prompt, or to the input you make into like this AI, is you can let it know that, think step by
Step.
step. So
Mm.
that is going to give it the ability to like break it down and not rush to give you answers. So it is going to analyze it in a way that it is going to think step by step. And then it concludes that, okay, this is the wisest thing to do in this case. Also, there's another approach that you can also use with that. You could also tell it that, I want you to use a what, how, and why approach.
Okay.
Meaning, tell me what to do, tell me why this is what I should do, and tell me how
Oh,
I should do it. So it is going to like explain to, so instead of the AI to just tell you, okay, do this because this is what makes sense, it is going to explain why, and it is going to give you, okay, this is how best to apply this decision that I am offering you.
good, good. Thank you so much. Thank you. You really know hit it on the head. So now I want us to look at something, because in the we are already in content economy, and looking at how people, like when we first have ChatGPT, a lot of people will just go there, type something, generate something, and post it like that. Pam. You understand? So, what are some of the risks or challenges involved in relying on AI for content creation, decision making, and all that?
So there's a lot of risk actually, and
Yeah.
that is why, even though I say it helps in giving you like the best thing to probably post or the decision to actually make. You There has to be an human in the loop, meaning you have to cross-check what it gives you. So like I actually use it to generate the replies I should give, the emails I get, and every other thing. But I understand that AI really doesn't have the emotions, doesn't really have the emotional intelligence.
Mm.
And that is where I come in. That instead of me to just go straight to the point that, okay, I can't do this deal because of this, I understand that in order to win a client over, even though you want to make it business is business, still you have to pamper the clients.
Mm.
So you have to edit it to make it, have a soft landing and not just be blunt. So those are the risk, but the best way to mitigate the risk is to make sure that you just don't blindly copy and paste. Read it through and make sure it represents your personality, it represents your style, and it represents the outcome that you want it to have.
Good.
So that is one way. And yeah, so I think that covers like the most risk I see when you are using it to generate the content and using it to generate the decision that you are about to make. But the best way is to put yourself in the loop of things in order to make sure it is done well.
Thank you so much. You really, I love the fact that you mentioned humanize.
Yes.
That is where you come in. You have to humanize it because, there are times, even if you are bringing your input, there are times AI can change whatever you are bringing in totally, and it will, it will give it another interpretation that is different from yours. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I want us to look at AI and innovation, especially in the context of Nigeria and Africa. Why? I noticed a trend. Is it you or there's someone also on LinkedIn that has been saying some things about how venture startups will just start up, get funding, and at a point, after some times, they will just fold up.
Yeah.
So now, I've been following some thread, and I realized that is it that we have not really identify how to solve, how to productize African problems or our problems in Nigeria, or what? Help me out.
Okay, so there are different ways to look into this because like what you just said right now is kind of broad, but I'll just break it down into some relative pieces to what we are talking about. So there is one way that it goes with, okay, it's the problem you are trying to solve. Is it really a problem? Is it a must have or is it a nice to have? That is one way. Another thing is, are you going in the right way? And another thing is, are you sure that those who you are solving the problem for actually need it? Or they might have the problem, but do they want it to get solved? So, I will start with the first one, right? So when it comes to Africa, right? Vusi, I know you know Vusi, right? Is a South African businessman. Said something that is important. He said, most of the problems we have in Africa is just like in the industrial stage. It's not really in the American. I know we have like some startups that are doing well in fintech, but like Nigeria is not in that stage where America is in the digital world yet. Most of the problems in Africa right now needs like industrialization, like the innovation we are trying to create. Maybe it is in blockchain. We have to make sure it connects to the core of the problems that is predominant in Africa. So like there are people that maybe they have issues with maybe the way they farm, the way they harvest crops. Why can't you use AI to automate that? So that is really going to bring like a solution that people really need. But if you really try to create a product that has to do with create a selfie with AI in Africa is going to be like, okay, it's
Yeah,
nice, but people really don't have that time and luxury on their ends to be creating selfies
exactly.
with AI in Africa. Like, that's not really the
Our
core of
problem.
the problem. Like,
Mm,
so that is like what I see. So, like, uh, even though we want to use the innovations that are in vogue, we still have to relate it to the core of the problems that are in Africa and not just try to innovate for innovating sake.
mm,
So that is like one of the things. Another thing again is it also boils down to market research.
good.
One of the very nice things that I see in America here is one of the easiest ways to do market research online is to use Reddit.
Yeah.
You could just go to Reddit. There are some communities in Reddit that talk about, like, maybe they talk about YouTube, they talk about starting a business, they talk about uh, farming, opening up an LLC. So you can easily look at the patterns of, okay, this is the problem that this community is facing,
Mm,
and then you can create a solution around that. But in Africa, I don't know, maybe Reddit is a thing in Africa now, but I think there are some platforms that you can also use to do those type of market research. If I can remember very well, there is
there's this
Naira,
Naira
is it Naira Land or
Naira
Naira?
land. Yes,
There's
Naira
something
land.
like Reddit in Africa also, right?
Yes, yes.
Uh, there's a forum where people go to talk about like the problem that they are facing, and there are people that are creating threads to talk about, oh yeah, this was how I solved it. So I think like if that type of platform exists,
Mm,
you can easily use that to do some market
search.
research to
Mm,
know maybe those who you are trying to solve the problem for really need that solution that you are trying to provide. So those are like the little ways, even though the question you asked is very broad, but
yeah.
that those are like the relative ways that I see
Oh,
that,
thank you. Thank
people
you.
can go about it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, like you said, I remember you did a report, a PDF report about how to use AI with Reddit some times ago. Yes, I think I have that, and I really sat down with it and used it, and I got value for it. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I got value. So yes, like you said, we used to have Naira Land, and I think it still exists. Just that at a point, most of the times we used to jump on trends without looking at the long term of whatever we want to do. At times in Africa, there was a time that Naira land used to be go to, but at a point, I think a lot of people they don't take advantage of what
Yeah.
that platform is. And basically in Africa, we are not this forum person. And
Mm.
forum is one of those places that you can get ideas, also be creative about what you are doing. So let's look at what role do you think AI can play in identifying, capitalizing on a market trend or on market trends in line with what you just shared with us.
So like one of the easiest ways, right? Like right now, assuming you are just trying to search for like a problem to solve, Reddit is a nice place, but I don't know, maybe it is relative to Africa yet.
Yeah, it
But
is just that we are not at the forefront of what is happening
Reddit,
there.
yeah,
Yes.
okay, nice. So like there are tools that has integrated with Reddit, right, in which you can use AI to do the search. So instead of you to go through the communities of Reddit and then maybe go as far back as 2018 and start reading and trying your best to identify the patterns, there are tools that you can use. One of the easiest tools is Perplexity. You can just go there, you click on the focus icon, and then just click on there's an icon for Reddit. So once you click on it, as soon as you make a search, it is going to make sure it is going to base that search on Reddit's social space. So the result it is going to give you is going to be derived from the communities that is on Reddit. Another more advanced way to do this exact thing again is there is a new tool like that was created by a guy on Twitter. The name is Gummy Search. You could use a tool like Gummy Search, which I just remembered right now. I have a subscription that I have to cancel. So,
Gummy
so you can
search
use the Gummy Search. Hello?
GUM.
Yeah, GUMMYSEARCH.
Okay.
Gummy Search. Gummy Search.
Okay.
So it was created to make AI search for maybe the problem that you are trying to solve, maybe to validate the problem that you are trying to solve, or to find like some patterns in the community. So it was created for this exactly, for you to be able to do market research. So that is the two basic tools that I know that you can leverage AI to do market research. Another very basic and easy way again is you could just go into ChatGPT, because it was also trained on like a large corpus of data, right?
Okay.
Which also includes like the past information that is on Reddit, that is online, and then you can tell it to identify as a business expert or like as a market expert, and then help you to look into maybe this is a problem within the space that you are trying to solve for.
Okay.
So that is a more easier way, but maybe not the best way, but that is a very good place to start start from.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So now I appreciate that. Now let's look at the future of AI and the business landscape or entrepreneurship. Now you understand. How
Yeah.
do you see AI evolving in the next 5, 10 years in Africa?
In Africa.
Yes, and
Okay, so AI revolving. So I think like there's a lot of opportunities for AI in Africa, right? So I feel like one of the best ways that we can start from, which I could see some startups like Awujo, I heard about Awujo.ai or something,
okay.
is the aggregation of the data we have. So we have a lot of data everywhere, and the advantage we have over the Western world in Africa, I'm not saying that the advantage we have over the Western world in a global sense, but the advantage we have over the Western world, like OpenAI, Google in Africa, is we have a deep understanding of the interpretation of our data than the way Google is going to understand it. So for companies that only can focus on, okay, how can we collect and structure the data points we have? I think even if companies like Google and OpenAI wants to create more models that have to do with Africa, the best shot for them is to partner with the startups in Africa that has done that work. So that is like one thing that I see that is happening, and I see a company like Awujo also doing something around that. Another thing that I see again is in medicine, right? So I really think AI is really going to help in medicine in Africa, because right now I think there's a shortage of staffs, the shortage of qualified people that can take care of people that are sick or people that are going through things. So I think AI is going to bridge that gap in the sense of the surgery, in the sense of the consultation. And looking at the healthcare space again, if we are to look at it from a basic view, mental health is a thing that is not being taken as serious in Africa.
It's a big issue.
It's a very big
like
thing.
You said,
And
yes.
it's actually very big. And
Huge.
I think there's one thing in Africa, right, is we don't think mental health is an issue. We just think, I don't know, if anybody's talking about mental health, we tend to look at the person as the like the person is weak. Like, what is wrong with you, you know?
Yes, yes.
So I really think like AI can bridge that gap, because that is what I'm saying, in the sense of we don't have the luxury to sit around and think about, oh yeah, how can I solve my mental health issue? Let me go see a therapist. So I think AI is really going to attend to that. So I think people are going to build apps around that can attend to mental health issues And there are so many things that AI is going to do. And also another thing is the education. So when I was very young, right, there was one software that I was using, and it gave me a broad view of the world. So at that time, we didn't even have access to internet so well, but I used that software broaden my broaden my view. The name of the software is Encarta by Microsoft.
Yes,
So in that software,
encounter.
it
Yes.
has like the history of the world, of the music, everything. It was like an encyclopedia. It was so complete. It was like the internet, but without just like the live view and everything. So, and I was doing that, and I was being educated by things that I wanted to have interesting without having access to very good internet. So I see AI decentralizing uh, access to information to maybe people who are living in rural areas, people who don't have access to the type of education that they seek. They can just sit behind their phone or their laptop and get access to what they teach people in Harvard, what they teach people in MIT.
MIT.
So they might not even need like very strong access to the internet to watch maybe very large files. But with AI, I think is really going to help in the educational space. So those are like the little ways that I see AI doing great in Africa.
Awesome. This is powerful. And you just dish out a lot of ideas as you were talking. I was thinking of education is a huge business across the world. Is people wants to learn, they wants to go to school, they just want to. That is why even in Nigeria every year, the numbers of those students that are enrolled for JAMB, WAEC, NECO, and even want to go into the higher institution, and they can't even accommodate all of them. So this is an opportunity for a smart entrepreneur out there, and I think we need to do more on edutech. I think we need to do more. So,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
between now and then, let's look at what skills or knowledge should business owners or entrepreneurs develop to stay competitive in an AI driven future. What skills or knowledge should we be seeking for? Because let's look at those that are, like now they will say, if you want to go to school and study accounting, why will you go to school and study accounting? Accounting is no more needed. Banking and finance, there was a time it was banking and finance era in Nigeria. You understand? So now, how many people would want to go into banking and finance? So now, as an entrepreneur, what are the skills or knowledge to acquire so that I can stay competitive in the AI driven future that we are looking at? Because even already the future, we are already in the future. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think like one of the main skills is you have to continue to be a child in the sense of you have to be as curious as you can be, because the curious mind would never be left behind. Because the AI we have access to now is still in the baby stage. In the next 10 years, it's going to change that. Most of the things that I'm saying now might be like the way internet was in 1995. It's going to be like, that's basic. That is like so long ago. So, but a curious mind that wants to learn more and wants to know more and wants to sharpen their skills, I think that is like the number one skill to have. And the next skill to have is to be creative.
Good.
Even if you're not a creative mind, try to be around those who can think outside of the box. So, and that brings me to how to think. So people think in a convergent way, in the sense of, oh, maybe the best way to use a brick is to stone someone with a brick. But if you think in a divergent way, there are like a million ways that you can use a brick. You can use a brick to stop a door. You can use a brick to store your files. You can use a brick to like organize things. So like you have to be divergent in the way you think of things, in the sense of, just like as I was talking about AI now, how best can you apply AI into your business? There are people that will just be thinking of it in like, oh, maybe the best way is just to apply it as a customer support bot, because that's like the first way that you would
You
think of
like
it. But
bot.
there are a million ways based on how you think, in the sense of, oh, we could use it to automate this process, we could use it to achieve this. So as I said, the first thing is you have to stay as curious as you can. Then second thing is stay as creative, which boils down to the thinking method. Try to stay as divergent as possible. And the third thing is great.
Is what?
Because
Please repeat that.
great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
So because things would not always go well. Like you might stay as curious, you might be as creative, you might be the smartest, but it might not just work.
Yeah.
But you have to push on until you get to like that winning stuff that you can get to.
Wow.
So I think those are the three skills that is most needed. Every other thing I think can be learned along the line.
And we need to be around people that are curious like you. And that's why I made a decision. I said I just have to get close to this guy. This guy is good at what he does.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask, you know, there was a program you did in New York, and I was like, wow, I hope you can bring it to Houston.
Yeah, very, very, very soon. Very soon.
Oh, good. I'll be glad to attend.
Absolutely.
So now as we wrap up, before we ask how to connect with you, I would want you to advise us as small business owners, entrepreneurs, startups. I would like you to advise us how can we, as in, what advice would you give small business owners who wants to start integrating AI into their operations? Like the bot you mentioned, you know, I think that is the only most popular one, and it's becoming a bit, should I say, obsolete now. You know, people wants to, you know, there's the place of this human intelligence. You understand? So what advice would you give to us?
So I feel like the first thing that you have to always look at is, what is the repetitive task you have? Don't think of, I mean, if you kind of like see AI, don't think of, oh, what are people using AI for right now? And they let me do that exact thing. No, try to think of, okay, what is the repetitive task in my business right now? Do I have to create an invoice and it takes me 1 hour every day? Do I need to reply emails and it takes me 4 hours every day? And I'm literally writing the same thing every day. So you have to think of that. What is the repetitive task you have? And then take this step back to now look at, okay, then how can the AI that is in existence now, how can it help me solve this? And that would also open your mind to the different types of AI that is in existence, because the one which is popular now is Gen AI, but we have different types of AI, like if it is predictive AI, and that would like, oh, there's something called like predictive AI, and this can better solve the problem that I have. I don't necessarily need to force the Gen AI to do this, and it can do it well. So the first thing is, first think of the problem before you think of the solution that you want to adopt.
Wow.
So that is like the first thing that you have to do.
Okay.
Another thing again is, okay, assuming maybe you have solved the repetitive task, also always think of, in every business, as long as you have clients, your number one goal is to make sure that your clients are feeling good, and the process that they go through in your business process is very nice. So always think of, okay, how can I optimize the experience for the users that I have right now? How can I optimize the experience for those who are using my app, or for those customers that I serve, or assuming I even sell clothes on WhatsApp? How can I create something with AI, or how can I use some AI tools that my customers can virtually try on the clothes that I want to sell them, let them picture their self in a dark clothes. before they buy. So it's going to increase the retention rate you have. It's going to like increase your brand value. It's going to be like, wow, like this
This
is so
is,
nice,
yeah.
So those are like the two ways. The first thing is the repetitive task. The second thing is the experience for those who you serve.
Mm.
And so I think those are the two most important thing. Every other thing still boils under this. And another thing again is scaling, right?
Yeah.
So how can you apply AI to
Scale your
actually
business.
scale
Yeah.
in the sense of assuming I am a coach now and I can only attend to 10 people a day, 1 hour each. So how can I integrate AI into my workflow that I can scale to attending to 100 people at a time,
Mm.
and they will still get the value that they want to get. So those are things that you can look into in order to adopt AI.
Mm.
And also, if you have an idea, another thing that I would like to share, which I think like a lot of people don't know, even though they have access to it, but they don't know, is even if you have an idea to build an app now,
Mm.
uh, the AI we have now are decentralized, bringing that to life. So there are tools now that you just need to just type in, oh, I'm trying to create a notes taking app for fashionistas or something. And then the AI can write the code, and not just write the code, because I know that ChatGPT can actually do that.
Mm.
But there are other platforms like Claude that it is going to show you the way the app is going to look like, and you can interact with it without writing any code, without putting it on the cloud. It's going to immediately
Mm.
show you exactly how it's going to look like, the front end, and you can interact
Oh.
with it. So
So you have like the
exactly.
UX design, the UX, the prototype or
Yes,
wireframing, all those stuff and
exactly.
stuff like wow.
It's going to bring out the prototype. And
Okay.
that's, it's going to shorten like
The process.
your ideation in the sense of you can even show people on one, like, okay, so what do you think about this app? Is it going to help you solve the problem you
Yeah.
have? And
Wow.
then you can quickly know maybe this is an app that you really want to do or
Or
not,
not.
instead of you spending a
Yeah.
lot of money trying to go do the UI UX and then building the
Wow.
app. You can go from idea to
So
prototype within minutes.
wow,
So
wow.
there are platforms that
What's
does
the
this. Yeah,
platform again?
yeah.
What's
So
the name of the platform again? You mentioned the
Claude,
name.
Claude,
Okay.
CLAUDE.
Okay. Wow. That is, I can relate because I'm also a UI UX person. And, I remember the days of ideation, all those research and stuff like that before you now ideate, empathy, and, prototype, wireframing, and all those things.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, I think I'm getting a lot of ideas, and I would want us to look at how possible. I know you are busy, and I can understand your schedule. How possible we can have this conversation often, so that we can trigger something in the minds of people out there who think it is impossible to harness the power of AI, especially in our continent in Africa, because we have a lot of problems. And it's like we are not productizing our problem the way we should.
Yeah.
So I feel we need more of this conversation as time goes on. I would like to have you more on board on this podcast. Now,
Yeah.
yeah. You want to say something?
No, I said, yeah, great. I'm very open to that. Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much. Thank you. So now, before we wrap up, let me ask one more question. What's your take for a startup who, because you just dropped something now, and the mindset of most business owners out there, some of them they really want to diversify, go into the tech industry, but they feel they have this mindset that, oh, it's expensive, it's capital intensive, this, that, because before you do get a programmer that will, that you, okay, no. Is it programmer you share your idea with first, or a PM, project manager from there, programmer from there, before you now look for fund to now begin to, a lot of people used to think that it is something. And when some of the startups begin to mention how they raise millions of dollars, blah blah blah. So now, for someone that is, for a small business owner that wants to go into tech, I'm asking this question based on the fact that you are AI founder. What would you advise? Because me, I am looking at that industry big time. So what would you advise?
So like, to get your question very well. So like, are you saying like for maybe someone that wants to build an app or someone that wants to understand
That
tech?
wants to build
Which one?
app.
Is
That
it
wants to build
someone who wants to build an app?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like there are so many ways to go about it. The Silicon Valley way is for you to look for somebody that can write the code, and then you partner up with the person. Maybe you are good with the business side of things, and the person is good with writing of code. But that's the Silicon Valley way. That might not work in some atmospheres, or might not work for everyone.
Everybody. Yeah.
In the sense of, assuming you are in school now, it might be easy for you to look for someone who has a lot of time on at their ends, and you guys can partner up and build the dream.
Okay.
But if you are out of school, the people you have access to are people who have bills. They have to take care of their family. So for them to partner up with you to chase a dream and to like commit as much time might be very
Difficult.
hard.
Yes.
And then you have to look at some other means. And you have to understand that the success stories in tech, not everything was done in the Silicon Valley way. A very good example is the Calendly guy, right?
Okay.
He didn't partner up with a technical person to build it. He gave an agency, and he worked hand in hand with them to make sure that it was done well. And now the company is worth about $3 billion or so. So like, there are different ways that you can go about it. But I think the first thing is you have to even first understand what you are trying to solve.
Yeah.
And that is where AI comes in. As soon as maybe you have an idea, as soon as I have an idea, one of the places I go to first is my GPT or a Claude, and I write it there like, oh, what do you think about this idea? Like, honestly. And then we go back and forth. I validate it, and then I do some better research into it, and then the next step is creating the MVP. The MVP doesn't need to have everything. The MVP just needs to have the essential, like what is the core problem you are trying to solve. The first version of your app should solve that core problem. So you don't need to put a lot of nice to have. You don't need to put like 100 things there. You just need to just put like just one thing that would sell the value that you are trying to sell. So that's like the advice that I have.
For those of us that are not there, that don't understand this, this man is a guru. I don't understand this MPV. It is minimum. Is it MVP? Minimum viable product. Abi?
Yes.
Oh, good. I think I'm I'm a good student. So thank you so much, Mr. Okpale. Your name is so familiar because I stayed in a place in Surulere that is called Muiwa Okpale. So that name resonates so much when I first saw the name. Thank you so much for your time. So can you tell us a bit about Think Note and how we can connect with you, where we can get you, connect with you, any program that you have or mentorship and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my company is a software agency where we help people to build their apps. We help people to build their software. It could be a mobile app, it could be a web app, and we have our expertise mostly around AI, even though we are very open to different types of tech, if it is blockchain, if it is fintech, e-commerce, but then we can always help you to integrate AI to make sure that it is up to par to like the competition that maybe you would be facing. And also, we offer some consulting as well, in the sense of maybe you are looking for ways to integrate AI into your workflow, looking to integrate AI into your business, into a product that you already have or a product that you are looking to have. So we offer that type of consulting as well.
Okay.
And we also help in building some automations with AI in your business. So maybe after when we are done with the consulting, and then you want to like maybe automate the way you reply to emails, or automate the way you generate your invoice, or automate different type of workflow, we can definitely help you in achieving that.
Wow.
And the best way to reach me, you can reach me on LinkedIn. My name is Akitunde Okbaleye. You can reach me via email, akin@thinknotes.com. So
Wow. Thank
that's
you, thank you, thank you so much. Oga, thank you. Oga, Rags to travel is saying this is massive. Thank you so much, sir, all the way from Brazil. We appreciate you for connecting. Also, Joshua Okiki, well done, sir. We appreciate you. And everyone that are live with us, we want to appreciate you for connecting. If you have any question, please drop your question. And I'm sure I can get your question across to Mr. Okpaleye. You see the way I'm pronouncing that, Okpaleye?
okay. Uh,
Are you from Ijebu or where?
well, I'm from Ibadan.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, you mentioned something about UI.
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and want you to know that we like to have you often on this podcast, as we hope and pray that the community will continue growing, and or like you promised, we'll hope to connect to meet you one on one very soon. But however, we'll talk off the camera.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you very,
time.
very much for having me.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
so much. You're welcome. So, viewers, we want to appreciate you for your time. Thank you so much for joining us live tonight. Please, this is an opportunity for you to scale your business using AI, and also, like Mr. Okpale shared with us, I have seen a lot of opportunities, a lot of ideas that I can work on, and to enhance my business, and also a new startup. However, I want to advise you, you can watch the replay, sit down, get a notebook and get a pen, so that you can write some things. All the tools that I mentioned, the website he mentioned, I'm going to sit back and watch this video again, so that I can begin to work on something. So I want to appreciate you for your time, and stay till I see you in the next episode of the Impact Podcast with Taiwo Balogun. Keep on winning. Bye.